Check it out. It takes a year for Catherine's file to be ready. And as she's walking up to the research room, she's trying to imagine what could possibly be in there. Maybe a couple folders worth of wild rumors filed by overzealous cops and shady characters. Except, when Catherine gets to her desk, that is not what she sees.
They put a pile, a 1.5 feet high of huge volumes held together by string.
Instead of a couple dozen pages, there are 11 volumes of files waiting for her. 4 boxes of almost 3,000 pages of secret police reports, going all the way back to her first days in the hayfields.
Not at all to be underestimated. As an adversary, she's cold as ice, calculating, and every word. And after she quits us, the attack from abroad will begin.
Turns out, Catherine wasn't the lowly, anonymous researcher she thought she was. The Romanian government had a story about her, a story they'd been building with decades of evidence. In the Securitate's view, Catherine was Kitty the folklorist, a femme fatale hired by the CIA to stir up ethnic hatred and foment revolution. And the Securitate weren't just passively collecting information on Catherine. They manipulated her research.
Source was given a task of occupying himself closely with guiding and orienting.
Hired people to wine and dine her.
Of introducing an informer who will maintain intimate relations with her so we can control her more efficiently.
They'd even installed hidden cameras in one of her hotel rooms. Catherine actually kept notes from the day she found these photos, which give me chills every time I read them.
I come upon photos of myself from the tail in my room at the Continental Hotel. I'm in my underwear, making my bed and then using the mirror above it to fix my hair. The outlines of my body are quite clear, though. The photos are lovely. Later on, have a mental image of myself in my underwear, pinned like a butterfly on a collector's table with spotlights shining on me from different directions. Become embarrassed, then feel angry, then violated.
Knowing that you're being followed and reported on is completely different from actually confronting what was going on then.
And here's what was going on then. The worst part. All these reports on Catherine, they weren't produced just by people who were getting paid by the Securitate or a couple of random shady characters. They were built on information filed by over 70 of her acquaintances and her friends. The file had detailed information about thousands of tiny, intimate moments where she'd been secretly ensnared in the Securitate's web.
The target is a lively individual.
Guys who chatted her up at a local bar, work friends who she used to share drafts of articles with.
Her presence in our country is aimed at collecting tendentious information of a socio-political character.
Suddenly, her whole life in Romania is speeding through her mind, and it's all been hijacked.
She knows how to make herself likable when she wants to, elements with the whom she stimulates in maintaining a resistant attitude towards state authorities.
Her whole concept of what's real, of who she is, of who she can trust, of who her friends were, none of it feels true. So many of the people that Catherine had worked so hard to build trust with had informed on her, including, and I know you saw this coming, Mariana. Wonderful, rock-solid Mariana, who, according to her Securitate handler's assessment, had not been a stomach-achy, intermittent informer, but an A-plus student, who, quote, manifested conscientiousness in fulfilling her tasks, punctuality in her meetings, and care in preserving confidentiality.
Well, it's one thing to have one of your closest friends saying, this guy was really nasty to me and he asked me, very leading questions. And it's another thing to read this person's words where she's saying, yes, I know this person. She is finding information that isn't favorable to us, Romanians. This was a thing the police were particularly concerned about. And to hear her words, to see her words, because a lot of what I read in the files was her reports written out in her handwriting.
Mariana even helped the Securitate get their hands on Catherine's field notes, that notebook that anthropologists keep all their most private, crucial insights in.
Definitely, if the faster I read, the worse it got, in a sense. Just having to take on board all of these different things that they were doing, kind of one right after another, and feeling bewildered and surrounded.
Catherine is overwhelmed and hurt and confused. Sure, she never got actually arrested and deported, but in a way, this all felt so much bigger than that. Did her friends really think she was a spy? Or were they totally bullied into this by the police? But as she keeps thinking about it all, thinking about it for years, she realizes that this dossier, it doesn't have to be just a painful record of lies and betrayal. She could treat it as precious anthropological data that could shed light on how this police state, or any police state, wormed its way into people's lives. So, in 2010, Catherine decides to go back to Romania and to ask her so-called friends directly, what happened? Why did you betray me? Top of